morning YouTube, my name is Will. Enzo with the bunny.
Lotus, no bunny.
And today we are talking the 2004 Evo RS for Dummies. Why is the RS in 2004 getting its own video? Two reasons. One, I want these videos to be super in-depth. You know, I could make one video that was like an hour long or something, but there's just so much information in there, you get lost in it. Rather than do that, I'd rather break things down. I haven't fully decided if I'm going to break down every year and trim and model. It's just kind of where I see the most confusion. And honestly, I hadn't intended to do the 04 RS by itself. However, I was trying to clarify something with the gauges, and in my process it led me to where I don't usually like to go for this information, the forums, and just reading threads, and it's just so much misinformation about a lot of things, but in particular the RSs and what the differences are year to year. So originally the RS was just going to be something that I mentioned in the 04 video, but now I think it just needs to be its own video. 2004 adds the RS. Now, if you are familiar with my videos, jeez, Lotus, you know that my Evo is a 2005 Evo 8 RS. For most people though, you're not going to be able to tell the difference between mine and an 04. There are a couple things I do want to point out though, in case you're curious. One is this badging is not the US factory badging. That is actually a UK style badging. The bumper, however, could be confusing because that is, well, it is an OEM bumper, but it's for the Evo 9s and it's for Japan. Although I think they also used it in most of the rest of the world too. The US bumper is more round and everything. I have mine, it's in my attic. I'm not gonna go get it. I'll insert a picture. Really? Really? You got the rabbit? So just be mindful of that. Also, the vortex generator, those did not come on the RS either. Now, how can you tell that mine is an 05 and not an 04? Oh, and since we're from this angle, I should mention that my wheels are from an Evo 10. So there is one way you can tell that my Evo is not an 04, and that is right here. So you can kind of, you see this right here, this little ridge? That's how you know that I have an aluminum roof. The aluminum roof did not come until 2005. And you see it on the RS in 2005, and you see it in the MR in 2005, as well as 2006. But in 2004, the RS maintained the steel roof just like the GSR. Now, as far as inside the car, my RS has two main differences. One is, since mine's an 05, I do have the ACD, which was not available in 04. Ignore this little light that has to do with like an old security system or something. And mine, because it's an 05, has the sport gauges, which were not available in 2004. Other than that, my interior is correct. At least what you can see on the camera right now. What you can't see is the fact that I have Evo 9 seats. Now, if you're watching this video and thinking to yourself, I didn't even know there was such a thing as an RS, let me tell you what you lose over the standard model. I had to get them all written down or else even I would forget. So, it deletes power windows, locks, mirrors, the rear wing, the stereo, sport ABS, HID lights, rear window wiper, keyless entry, vanity mirrors, rear assist grips, leather wrapped e-brake handle, the trim in the trunk, most of the sound deadening materials, color keyed doors and mirrors, and silver trim on the interior. When deleting all that, they do give you something back in the 04s, and that is the helical limited slip differential and the rear cross beam. Now, I can't really show you the LSD, but I am going to show you the rear cross beam because I think people get confused on this. First of all, where all this is exposed, that is how it looks. But the cross beam that they're talking about is this right here. It goes from here to there. And if you heard from me tapping it, it's pretty lightweight. It actually weighs not even a pound. It's like 0.78 pounds, so it's pretty lightweight. Now, I'm not an engineer, I'm not a mechanic. I'm not gonna go into too much detail regarding the LSD. What I will tell you is that versus the standard model, which is just an open diff will shift power to whichever wheel has less grip, where the LSD in the RSs is going to actually shift power to whichever wheel has more grip. So give all the power to where there's available grip so that you can turn quicker and potentially induce oversteer, actually. Now the good thing is, because of the way this unit is set up, you don't have to oil it or add any maintenance or anything. It's there. You can just pretend it's not, and you'd never be the wiser unless you actually can feel the difference when driving. I mean, like, it's not going to affect your actually living with the car. There are two color options for the RS, and this is one other way you could tell that mine is an 05 if you're really astute, but I don't think it's going to show up on the camera anyway, so I don't bring it up. But if you saw them next to each other, is Rally Red and Weightless White. Now Weightless White isn't quite as bright as Wicked White. So when you see them next to each other, it's pretty obvious, but if you see one and then you see the other, it's not as obvious. Being around them as much as I have, I can tell a difference usually when I see them, but again, on camera and everything, I don't know that that's really gonna show up. So how much does an RS save you weight-wise compared to the standard model? Well, if you had a fully optioned out, so if you had the leather and the sunroof and everything, you'd be looking at a little over 100 pounds. If you have a more base model GSR, you'd be looking at probably less than 100 pounds. But that's about 100 pounds with the LSD added, so it is something. Now, there's not a whole lot of 2004s for sale, let alone RSs. I will say, if you are looking at Evos and you run across an RS, having any car without power windows and locks and mirrors and keyless entry, it could be a bit of a nuisance. I don't mind it so much. To me, it's kind of like a novelty. You know, nobody gets in a car in 2019 and doesn't have power windows and locks, so I don't know. I find it almost kind of interesting, but I could see how it could be a bit of annoyance. The lack of sound deadening is a bit strong. If you've seen some clips of my car on the interior, I am full stock exhaust and my car is definitely loud, and you hear a lot of noises that you wouldn't normally hear, you know, rocks coming up and different things, because you don't have that sound deadening. A couple things I do want to clarify with a lot of confusion is all 2004 Evo RSs have AC. It was never an option, it was always standard. God bless you. Also, all US Evo RSs do not come with the wing. Oh, do you need something? Yeah. Now, dealers can do weird things, so it could have been a dealer add-on. So if you run across one that has a factory wing, it could technically be, it probably isn't, but it could be, technically. So that's going to do it for this video on the 2004 Evo 8 RS. Subscribe to follow along with the series Evo for Dummies. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. If I got anything wrong or you know some other facts, definitely comment those as well and I can pin them to the top. Otherwise, I will see you guys tomorrow. Lotus, you still getting the shadows?